If you feel it, ride it. It's time for Nerdy for 30, podcast where we talk about nerdy-ish movies, 30-ish minutes. My name is Kevin Bauer, aka the Critic's Choice. With me, as always, the People's Champ, Tim Cack.
If you feel it, ride it, baby. Yeah.
Woo-wee. All right. Today we are talking about Twisters. Oh, Tim, what'd you think about this one?
Dude, I had a great time at Twisters. My one sentence review is it is a theme park ride where they give you watch a little video and it's kind of nonsense. It's just an excuse to go on the ride. And Doc Ock is attacking downtown. Spider-Man needs our help. And we know it's not going to have any big impacts on anything, but for the ride, it's going to be fun. It's going to be nice. And you're going to have a good time. It's going to be a little lame. There's going to be parts of it where you're like, well, I don't know. Some of this is for the kids. But it's a ride I want to get on again, Kevin. What about you?
That's
what do you think of Twisters?
Dude, hey, real quick, it's funny you mentioned that it's a theme park ride because Danny texted me right before we started taping and said, I can't believe of all movies you didn't see Twisters in 40X. Huge oversight for us.
100%.
It's been years since we did a 40X. I mean, this would actually, I do want to ride this movie, Tim.
We 100% need to go back and watch it in 4DX. I'll do it. I will do it anytime.
We got to finish the fight. My one sentence take on this one is every time I started losing interest, they pulled another heartstring to rope me back in. I definitely was like, I was kind of tuning out from time to time, but every time I was right on the cusp of thinking maybe this one doesn't have it. Dude, pulling out of the stunt, oh my God. Turns out Daisy Edgar Jones has been helping a company that's stealing people's land. Gotta get those fuckers. This is great.
Can't believe it. What a twist. You go for the tornadoes, you stay for the heart.
Yeah.
The heart is what kept me in it. My God. Incredible. Kevin, I want to go right into my thief for this.
Please do.
Which I'm sure you can agree. Well, my biggest thief for Twisters is the male gaze. Okay. I get that, what's his face from Dune is cute. I get that Bridgerton is sexy, whatever. Tyler Owens is for the boys. Everything about Tyler Owens is incredible. I love it. And it's not just because he's handsome. Every guy on earth wants to be a Tyler Owens. He's handsome. He has a cowboy hat. He has a big truck. He has a found family that he loves and they love him back. He's a business owner and he supports the community. He has the respect of his peers. What more? And he's a good guy. He's got a golden heart. What more does any guy want out of life? What more does any lady want out of life? You either want to be Tyler Owens or you want to be with Tyler Owens. I think you got to pick a side. And if you don't, you got to take a real hard look in the mirror and figure out what's wrong with you, because Tyler Owens is the man. He's so cool. When he rides up in the beginning with that truck and that hat and he's smiling, dang, dude, incredible. Loved it. Tyler Owens is for the boys. We're making sure it's right now.
Dude, oh my God. It's so, you said the male gaze was your winner. You had me in the first half because I was like, where is this going? And then I realized that male gaze, for the first time maybe ever, was fixed squarely on just a man you want to be. It was great.
Yes.
You're so right. He is in that weird realm with like Chris Hemsworth, where it's like 100% approval rating. Everybody loves him. It's great. Like I could not be happier to see all this happening for our boy Glenn Powell. I've been happily riding the Glenn Powell train since like 2016, and you know what? Cashing in all my chips. This is great.
He's the man. I think this is the kind of character that he crushes in. It's kind of like Maverick, cocky, overconfident, fun. I think we've been talking highly of Hitman. He's got more range than that.
Mm-hmm.
But this character specifically, Tyler Owens, is such a dude's dude. I want to say he's a Mary Sue for guys. He is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, totally.
He's good at everything. He's also a meteorologist. He's also a super cool guy. He knows a little bit about everything. He is the perfect partner for I don't even say it just says Daisy Edgar Jones on the cast list for Daisy. He is the perfect partner for Daisy. And I just want it to happen so bad. And they're just there, will they, won't they? I know they will, but I want to see it.
Nice. I like that.
Thanks, man.
This guy has a truck that shoots rockets and has augers on the bottom so that you
Dude.
can't make him budge unless he wants to. That's
Oh,
that's the biggest male wish fulfillment I have ever seen on screen.
so cool. So cool. Their whole thing is it, and in the first Twister, trucks are flying everywhere. In this Twister, cars are flying everywhere. And he's got this immovable truck, like an immovable spirit. Like Captain America says, when the world tells you to move, you say no. You stand tall and you say, go around me, and he's got this reporter with him. And at the end, he says, I'm not even the story. She's the
Mm.
story. What a guy. What a great man. Tyler Owens for president. This man, whew, getting hot under the collar for Tyler Owens.
Dude, it's incredible how they frame it too so that the tornadoes scare him, and yet he does all this stuff anyway. And it's a lot like when we talked about the first X-Men movie, and we see Wolverine pops the claws, kills a bunch of dudes in the beginning of the movie, and then when he's driving with Rogue in the truck, she asks him if it hurts, and he says every time, and it's like it does hurt, but he's popping those claws every second he gets if it means defending the people he cares about. And it's just the coolest character detail possible. Yeah, this guy's he's a what would you call a male Mary Sue? Like a Mark Stew?
Mark Stew. He's a Mark
Marty
Stew
Stew?
for sure.
How about Marty Stew?
Marty Stew. He can do anything, and that is true. That is the most manly thing, is doing something despite being afraid of it. Overcoming your fear on a regular basis. Every guy wants to be the badass who's like, oh man, but I still get scared sometimes. The kid being like, oh, but you're not scared of anything. And it's like, scared all the time. But I face those fears. It's like, yes, men being men. I don't know, boys being boys. It just makes me feel so testosterone and like ready to go chase some tornadoes, man. I want a big truck. I want to go run through Oklahoma. I want to chase some tornadoes, get rolled over, and find love, man. That's what it's all about.
So I want to ask about this too. You brought up trucks. We've talked about this a little bit just with your background. You grew up in Florida. You've been very vocal our entire friendship about trucks over Jeeps. I know there's a big trucks versus Jeeps beef in Florida. Did you have a truck? Did you go mudding? I grew up in Ohio and people went mudding all the time.
I had a Ford Ranger. It was not really built for mudding. I went once and it never drove the same. So I think I
How
broke
old
my
was
car.
it? How many
It
years old?
was, gosh, what was it? I think it was like a 2000 or something. I think it was like an '01, and I had it in '08. And a buddy of mine had a completely, you know, rigged up Wrangler. So he did have this big Jeep that was all jacked up, and it was pretty cool. And we went mudding in it, and he immediately got stuck because it's a Jeep. And then he was like, maybe you can tow me out with my little Wrangler, which I named Valerie. He's like, maybe Valerie can get me out. And Valerie was a tiny little V6 with a heart of gold, but the body of a weak car. And we strapped up Valerie, tried to pull his Jeep out, and it didn't happen. And I've gotten worse gas mileage in Valerie ever since. But um, yeah, it is a real thing. It's a real beef. Depending on where you're at, trucks pull out trucks, Jeeps pull out Jeeps, and the lines don't cross. I'm sure depending on where you're at, people take it different amounts of serious. There's different traditions everywhere. So, but if you're in the wrong part of town, you're in truck country, don't get stuck as a Jeep. That's all I'm saying.
Did you feel like, did you feel a kindred spirit as a former truck owner with all the trucks in this movie?
Yes, trucks are like Carhartt. They give the appearance of working class. And there's some people that, there's a lot of people that wear Carhartt and not as many do Carhartt shit. It's the same with trucks. A lot of guys drive trucks. Not a lot of guys do truck shit. And honestly, they're just fun to drive. You're higher up. It's kind of empty in the back. So it's like fun to kind of like, you can do some fun things in it, some fun donuts in them.
Oh yeah, baby. You
And
got to load some sandbags back there for the winter. You're gonna be fishtailing like crazy.
yes, you can help your friends move. You can pick up sod. You can just do cool things in them. They're not practical at all. Whereas the Jeeps, I've just also actively warned you against getting a Jeep of any kind because they fall apart. They're terrible cars. They get recalled. Um, yeah, so no Jeeps. And you notice no Jeeps in this because they had real work to do. So they didn't want any Jeeps, getting in the way of that.
That
Um,
should be what they do with you know how Apple won't let villains in movies use iPhones? So it's kind of a dead giveaway. And if you look at a mystery movie, a lot of times they'll have everybody using droids because otherwise it would be a dead giveaway. Whoever's not on an iPhone is the villain. They should do that with trucks and Jeeps in the Twisters franchise.
Well, they do that in the sense that if you see someone driving a Jeep, they suck. So that's just a character choice. I would love to see the version where Tyler Owens is driving a Jeep and they bolt it down and then the flimsy top gets ripped off the car, off the Jeep, and the
It's
doors
just
go
like
flying
straight up.
off and everyone just gets ripped out into the sky. That would be incredible. Yeah.
Ah, man.
That's the fun thing about Jeeps. We're totally gonna go off on a Jeep tangent. The fun thing about Jeeps that they do have over trucks is you can take the top off, you can take the doors off, and you can really make it like a beach cruiser mudding thing where you're getting dirty and messy. But that's the advantage. But if you actually want to get something done, you need a truck. And he's got an awesome truck in this.
He's got the sickest truck. Those harness straps are
It's
cool
got
as hell. I want
harnesses.
those anyway.
It's got buttons. Dude,
Oh, the
men love
buttons,
buttons. Am
Tim.
I wrong? Having those little things where you flip the cover and then flick the
Oh,
switch, that's every guy's dream. Every man wants button covers over switches that he has to flip. And if you flip them, it launches off at the wrong time. Her shooting the rockets on accident, that's all a guy wants. The
goddamn.
male gaze, they gave it to us. Tyler Owens, one for the boys. Oh,
God, I
I
want
get
just
it.
like I want an adult man busy board. You know how like toddlers have like busy boards with like a bunch of like fake things you can pop? I want that, but it's just a bunch of like safety latches you got to flip and then buttons you can push underneath it.
It's like a couple
Oh,
lug nuts that you can twist off, and
God
it's
damn it. There's a compass on there. You got to have that.
there's a
Uh,
compass. There's a couple
Gauge
of like the switches
humidity
you
in the air.
see in a spaceship before
Yeah.
you have to go to hyperdrive. Maybe that huge like what is that called? That dial in planes where you're like I have to go faster, so you push that thing forward more. You need a thing to like push forward. It's
Absolutely.
we could do this. We can make this
We could do
happen.
this. This would be, I think, the best piece of merch we could possibly get into.
The male
Tim, I got
fidget
a beef
spinner.
to share about this one, though.
You got a beef? What about a thief? I did a thief. Or you want to go
Oh, all
beef?
right.
You want to
Well,
alternate?
let's see. Here we go. I'll do no. Let me dig up a thief.
Do a thief. Let's
Um,
stay positive.
uh, Massive thief was the line. This movie theater isn't built to handle a twister like that. Absolutely cannot believe it wasn't used in the trailer. The coolest shit possible. I mean, there are images built into this thing that seem like they were meant to sell you on the experience you were going to have, especially probably if you saw it in 40x. When the movie theater screen gets ripped out and you can see the tornado where the screen would be in the movie theater and everybody's getting fucked up and they show that shot from the side of people like getting sucked out toward the screen. I mean, that was the moment that I realized that this is a modern day B movie. This is exactly what B movies look like in the year
Yes.
2024. Could not possibly be more here for it. In this one, they have the people watching like an old Universal monster movie in the movie theater. In the first one, they're watching, I think, The Shining in the the drive-in movie theater. This is the kind of thing that you should be watching in a drive-in movie theater. I mean, this is like a great, fun, dumb, easy to understand spectacle.
Exactly. This is a B movie. This is the best thing to do with friends. I mean, we got to go see it in 40X. They better update the Twister ride at MGM if that still exists.
It's gone, dude. I was so disappointed. I went last year. The Twister ride is gone.
We've all got to go and support this movie so they can bring it back. I'm sure it's
Oh,
something.
that'd be
They
awesome.
probably just renamed it, but you get on and there's like a flood and then, you're in a car that shakes. It's a good time. I like a natural disaster ride. That's fun.
Yeah, they remade it, but now it's the Social Network. It really does not fit. You know, can't
You're on a
remember a single
laptop
natural disaster.
while they try and take all your shares of the company or dilute your shares.
It's very metaphorical. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like a regular day at work. You had beefs though. What's your biggest beef for this then?
My biggest beef is we didn't actually see David Corn Sweat get fucking killed because this dude sucked. And I really want to talk about him because this is the new Superman. I didn't even realize it was him. I don't think I've
Really?
seen him in anything. Yeah, that's the guy. I don't think I'd seen him in anything before this. I've seen the pictures and stuff of him as Superman. He looks great. I haven't seen Pearl yet, but I guess he's in that. And then the entire movie, I was like, I hate this guy. I really hate this guy. He seems like such a lame, wet fart of a guy. He seems like a lot of coworkers that I've had in the past. Just like a very real, very lame guy. We see him get left by the side of the road. We see him get splashed with mud. It's not enough. We saw that shitty couple get sucked up in a car. I want the same for this version of David Corn Sweat.
I get it. I really felt like this was the comedian small acting role
Oh,
that felt
yeah.
like it to me. Like this was the kind of thing you'd expect that David Cross probably did. I saw David Cross did a cameo in Men in Black where he's like the rude behind the counter guy and
Mhm.
then gets attacked by the roach. It's it's that kind of thing where you saw them on the Daily Show as a correspondent and now they're in a movie being an asshole, you know? Karen
That's
Killam in
such a good
Heat,
call.
uh, all that kind of stuff. So I kind of wrote it off as that. Saying he's Superman, maybe he's too big for that kind of role, but I immediately brushed this off as like, cool indie guy has to play a jerk in a movie like this and just to get him some credits or something like that, just to build the
Yeah.
resume.
Oh, they should have thrown it to like, they could have thrown it to like Anders Holm from Workaholics. I feel like he is pretty much a one for one swap
Any of the
with this guy.
Workaholics guys,
Any of the Workaholics guys.
anyone on the Daily Show right now. I'm just going to
Yeah.
Google Daily Show
Oh, Jordan Klepper would be
correspondence.
so good in that role.
I was
Jordan Klepper
thinking
would
Jordan
fucking
Klepper.
crush that part.
He'd be awesome. It'd be so easy to do.
And if he did get sucked up in a tornado, he'd make it funny. It'd be great. It's just one more ad for the movie.
Ronnie Chang. Ronnie Chang's done this kind of role before. I'm blanking on what it was, but I've definitely
Yeah,
seen
shit. What
him.
was it?
No, it was. Oh, we did it on the pod. It was the scary movie with the doll, Megan.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. That'd
he
be
was the
great.
douche in Megan. I mean, that's immediately what I thought of with this. Is
That's such a good role.
yeah,
We got to do. I want you and I to write a disaster movie, and we got to remember that as one of the tropes that we have in there is that there has to be a comedian playing a douchebag that we see get absolutely fucking obliterated by whatever the disaster is.
yeah. It's a role, and you can tell that they wish it was more funny than it was, but it's really not. It's just an unlikable guy. That's tough too. That's tough. Yeah, what is it about comedians always getting cast as unlikable people?
I don't know. I heard somebody said one time that I want to say it was Scorsese. It might be somebody else, but they said that if there's ever a role that's kind of boring, they give it to a comedian because the comedian will find a way to make that role interesting.
That's what this felt like to me, where this guy probably was a little more interesting than he actually was. I mean, he played a jerk, but David Corn Sweat probably did the best he could with it.
So,
And he
do you
was he
think
was a little bit of a character though.
there's a little bit of a character? He didn't. I wonder if more of his stuff got cut. But what do you think about that? Have you seen him in other stuff? What do you think about this being the guy that's playing Superman now?
I have no idea. I was just Googling him. I don't really remember him being in anything. The Superman pictures look great. I mean, he
Yeah.
got jacked. He's having a good time. I haven't seen Pearl yet. I've got to. I might honestly just skip Pearl and go see oh man, what's the one that just came out? It's like the third one
Maxine.
of that. Maxine.
Yeah,
Maxine looks
I
off
was
like
thinking
a
that
80s
too.
slasher that's right up my alley. Pearl didn't seem too exciting to me, but
See, same here. And then I found out that they shot Pearl in like 3 weeks. Like they made all of Pearl super quickly because they had everything rented during the pandemic to make X. And they finished, but they still had time left on the rental for everything, I guess. So they put together all of Pearl. That makes me extremely interested in it.
that makes me less interested to pay to see it, but maybe more interested to watch it somewhere.
It's on Prime. Check it out on Prime.
Yeah, if it's on Prime, that's good. I'm golden. I want to get to my biggest thief, which is another character in this, Javi. I dislike Javi so much. Everything that
Oh,
Tyler Owens is, Javi is not.
so he's your beef, not your thief.
He's my biggest beef. Did I say thief?
You
My
did.
thief is the male gaze slash Tyler Owens. My biggest beef is Javi, who sucks. He is awful. I dislike him immediately. He seems slimy and he feels like a quote unquote nice guy where he is
Hmm.
crushing on Daisy Edgar Jones, but not really making a move. So he offers her a job, but it also seems like the point of the job is for him to hook up with her. I thought he was kind of slimy, and you can tell he's lying the whole time. And I don't know. It's also a bad look when she's with this guy that she was pretty serious with, who dies during this storm. But I even thought in those scenes he's crushing on her pretty hard, which
Oh
is
yeah.
just kind of a sketchy position to be in. So he was unlikable for me from the very beginning. And then they try to redeem his character, but they redeem his character by having him cockblock Tyler Owens. Anytime Tyler Owens and Daisy get a scene together, Javi's there too. Like it's not just Tyler running up, it's Tyler and Javi. Tyler Owens isn't the only one going to her house. Javi is also going to her house. He is just an in the way person. And I dislike him so much. The actor's probably doing a good job. I don't hold this against Anthony Ramos. I've liked him in other stuff, but Javi as a character is so unlikable to me that I just wish he would. I don't know. It would be great if he had gotten sucked up in a twister. I think that would have been a heroic moment.
Interesting. See, I
Yeah.
read it differently. I can see now that you're talking about it, I can see what you're saying. I liked him. I love Anthony Ramos. I mean, I know we talked about this with the Beast Wars movie last year too,
Yeah.
but like I loved him in that. And I know your stance on any Transformers movie is get the humans the fuck out of here. But
Yeah. He played another in the way character, in my
yeah.
opinion, in Beast Wars. Like it would have been better if there weren't any people around. We can cast Anthony Ramos in something else, but we don't need this hobby character. Cut him out. Or maybe we do need him to just show how awesome Tyler Owens is. Because by contrast, but also he's just an in the way guy. And I just want Tyler and Daisy to be flirting together. I could just watch the two of them chasing tornadoes for just like 2 hours. Just sit there in my 40X chair, shaking with my heart beating as I watch the two of them driving around, experimenting together,
That's
finishing
the
each
thing.
other's meteorologist sentences.
When you see this movie in 40X, the chair doesn't move. They let your own heartbeat do the work. It's like that scene where they were both geeking over like the scientific methodology behind a tornado forming. It is the stupidest thing I've ever heard, and also the most beautiful, incredible thing I've ever heard. It was electric. It was so fun.
I thought it was so cute. I was like, this is what we want. This is what everyone should want. Someone who's equally excited about your interests. Wonderful. You know,
Mm,
this movie makes me fall in love again. You know,
yeah,
like Tyler Owens is just I wish I was Tyler Owens. I
we all
wish
do,
I was
man.
Tyler Owens. And if not, I wish I was his
Ah,
buddy. I wish I could just be friends with Tyler Owens. Because he'd be real cool, man. He'd be just a great friend. He'd have my back. He'd be so dependable, you
what
know?
role are you doing in that crew? If you join his crew right now, what role are you doing?
Oh, I'm the dude in the passenger seat who's heard he's spending so much time with Daisy. I'm the guy who gets his feelings hurt the second Tyler walks away to talk to somebody else. I am needy AF. I am in that car and I need reassurance.
All right, man, but don't forget we got plans to go see such and such tomorrow night. We got Luke Bryan tickets, so
We got Luke Bryan tickets, and Tyler Owens would be like, "Hey, man, I forgot about that. We're gonna go, and I'll talk to
forgot
her, and
about it.
we'll reschedule." Or he'll be like, "Sorry, man, I just got so hung up on this girl. I think I'm in love, but you're right. Luke Bryan is our thing, and I want to see it with you, and I can experience both things at the same time. I can be excited about seeing Luke Bryan with you. I can be excited about seeing this girl at the same time, and I don't have to sacrifice our friendship for a new one that's blossoming into something more." And that's why I love Tyler Owens.
So this is what I want to see. This is the Twister sequel I want to see is a movie called Third Wheel on a Truck. It's you right there in the middle of this team. and it's just you getting jealous the whole movie. I would love that. You
It'd be so funny
all
if it was
three of you
just
go to
me.
the concert. He gets an extra ticket for that concert. She comes.
Yeah, I'm a third wheel, but I don't. He doesn't make me feel like a third wheel.
Yeah.
I'm part of the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm happy for him,
You have
and
to
I'm
be.
I'm
When you
jealous
see
of
love
her.
like that, you have to be.
Yeah, man. God. When it happens to a great guy like Tyler Owens, man,
Mm,
just love Tyler Owens. What a
me
cool
too.
guy. Into that
I
hat, that $1 million smile. And he's a business owner. What do you think of his whole YouTube channel thing?
I think it's a great idea. He's getting a ton of shit the entire time. Look, man, YouTube's the future. It's not even the future, it's the present. Deal with it. It's here, baby. Like this is
You think they're making enough? So when they sell the shirts, which again, another example of what a great guy Tyler Owens is. Man, I'm crushing hard. Uh, they sell the t-shirts so that they can buy food and supplies for the victims of tornadoes,
mhm,
right? So that means that they're probably, I think they said they have 1 million subscribers on YouTube or something like that.
mhm.
They must have more than that. You think 1 million YouTube subscribers is enough to support this whole lifestyle and this whole business? If this is the only thing they're doing, they've got a drone, they've got this truck, they've built this all up, they have
Oh
these
yeah.
different technology things. You think that's enough to keep them going? And
Oh,
also,
no
why don't they
question.
have more than 1 million subscribers?
I think they have. I for some reason it's stuck in my brain. I could be totally wrong. I thought they showed their page and they had like 2.1 million or something.
That makes more sense.
But
Yeah.
still, it's like I think they got a strong Patreon presence. This is Tyler Owens we're talking about. He has parasocial relationships he doesn't even know about. There's so many people who are contributing to Patreon. Maybe they're only on the $5 tier. They're still hoping that Tyler's scrolling through all those subscribers. And when he shouts them out as a person that helped make that video happen, they get a little thrill. You know, it's like, I think there's a lot of people that see that he's doing good work and they want to be a part of it. I think that would make people feel good to be a part of something good happening like that. It's also brilliant if you're going to do like a fundraising channel, if you're going to like spend the money on something like that to put it in a charity that relates to the way that you're making the money and what you're doing. So, like, I feel like it's the same thing with how people like there's a lot of people who do marine biology videos and stuff, and any of the proceeds they make go into ocean conservation. We should do the same thing. We should start a Patreon. We should raise funds, and we should use that to help people who are personally victimized by how bad Spider-Man 3 was in the year 2007. A lot of us are still dealing with that. So, like, you find something that's in your niche, and that's what you do to help.
Yeah, I agree. I think we need to figure out if they don't, they've got to have these t-shirts for sale. I want a Tyler Owens t-shirt so bad.
What's
That
the thing?
corny
Not
one
my
that he
first
gives the mom.
tornado. Yeah,
Is it not my first tornado?
yeah.
Oh, and he gives it to her mom. Incredible.
All
Incredible
joking
move.
aside, I do want us to make a shirt the same exact style as that. If we do start doing merch, that's exactly what I want the first piece to be.
It's cool. It's got the baseball tee look,
Yeah, and it's like
right?
a caricature of him in the truck getting sucked up by a tornado. We'll figure out what that same thing is for us. Listener, if you have an idea, let us know.
We need to do the exact same thing, but it's just our faces. And you
Yeah.
know what? Don't even take Tyler Owens off of it. We should be there with Tyler
He's there
Owens.
too.
The three of
Uh,
us, man. If you feel it, chase it. I'm coming for you, Tyler
if you
Owens.
feel it, chase it. Also, shout out to our pal Ryan Flaherty. You can hear him on the Mad Max episode from earlier this year. Uh, he misheard the slogan and thought it was "If you feel it, ride it." Hence the opening of this podcast. So, Brian, thank you for that because I used it once today, and I just might do so again in the future.
The lines in this are so good. I think he had another line that was very similar to um we don't run from fear, we ride it.
Yeah, that's the second half because the first one's if you feel it, chase it, and the
Feel it,
other
chase
one's
it.
like, yeah, you can't run from your fears, you ride them or something like that.
Yeah, something about riding fears, which is just again, the man I want to be says that.
Yeah,
Tim Keck right now doesn't say that, but the Tim Keck I want to be, the Tim Keck I'm chasing, my Matthew McConaughey, my hero is me in the future. That's the man I'm chasing. Man, he says stuff like that. If you feel it, chase it. Can't wait. Hope I'm that guy someday. Wow.
Uh,
Incredible. Any other Twister thoughts?
I thought they did a great job leveling up the tornadoes in this. There
Yeah.
was a real sense of danger in this somehow, which was really cool. You don't often get that in a disaster movie. You pretty much know exactly who's going to live and exactly who's going to die. I think one of the things that helped in this was that they started with so many people, and the people they started with were like people I've seen before. What's her name? Sabrina's in there, Kiernan Shipka. So
Yes.
I saw her. I'm like, she's probably making it the whole movie. No, fucking toast, just obliterated.
Did you think everyone was going to make it in the beginning of that? Because the movie starts out with the five of them, and they are so corny and lame together. I got a little nervous. I was thinking this can't be the whole movie. There's no way they'll let it be this corny and lame, and they're doing their secret handshake. And there's just like an embarrassing lameness to it that I did not like.
Mhm.
And then the tornado comes and people start getting ripped away. And the tone for the rest of the movie is way more severe. And I think that's a very cool move. I think
Yeah,
it's very cool to be like a little cringy up top, hard turn into real life stakes and trauma, and also having a good time and falling back in love with the thing that you first got into the game for. It's really
yeah, I dug
powerful
it.
stuff.
I loved it, man. Like from the very beginning with that, uh, throwing a fire tornado in there. It's really cool. It's
It's
really
cool.
fucking cool.
It's super cool. The one of the other lines that I really liked in this, I'm gonna mess it up, but basically Tyler Owens is talking to Daisy about how that tornado, she's like, it's an E5 or whatever it is. And I should have seen it coming. And Tyler Owens is like, you know how we determine the level of a tornado? By the damage it leaves behind. And I was like, that's so good, man. That's so good. He's saying, you can't predict these things. You have to take chances. You have to chase those tornadoes because it could be an E1, it could be an E5, but you're not going to know till it happens. So
Mm.
you can't be afraid of that. And you can't live with regret when you run into an E5 because at least you went for it and you're doing your thing. And dang, just more words to live by from Tyler Owens.
I did think for a hot second in that moment, she was going to turn to him and say, "You're right. So I guess that one was an E100 or something." Like you can't measure how destructive it was to her life.
E Infinity, more like it. And then she storms out with her in her all black outfit with her nails painted, all
Mhm.
emo like. You don't get it, mom. And by mom I mean Tyler Owens. You don't get me. That tornado was really bad. I mean, to be fair, how often are you in a tornado where your friends are just ripped away from you and sucked up into the air? That's pretty awful. And I do also, Javi was talking about the guilt of surviving and all of that. Javi is sitting it out. Javi is the man in the chair. He is way outside. He's not putting his neck on the line.
Nope.
There's another level of not respecting that character in it for me where he's talking about this great loss like it's equal to hers. I mean, she was in it. She's physically scarred from this, and the love of her life is ripped away. Well, the real love of her life is Tyler Owens. So I guess the tornadoes were wingmanning for Tyler Owens in a way, clearing the runway so that Owens could drive in with his big truck and, right into her heart and all of ours. Um, but yeah, Javi sitting it out definitely made me dislike him more. He's just not a likable character. I don't know what's redeemable about this guy at all.
I liked him. I think what's redeemable about him is the fact that it's Anthony Ramos. Just because
Yeah.
I like him. It's one of those things where it's like a shorthand for getting somebody to like somebody. It's you put in somebody who's very charismatic as an actor, and boom, we like them. You want somebody to seem famous in the universe? You put George Clooney in there. You're like, wow, that's a famous person.
Wow. I bet he was a good Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not check. Let's not go back and check.
Let's not check. No verification needed. He was probably the best.
Oh, I
Yeah.
did think of one last thing. There was the moment. So when we were at the rodeo, there's the moment where the guy gets on the bullhorn and he's like, everybody get out of here. There's a tornado coming right now. And then there is just absolute panic, just complete and total pandemonium breaks out. They show people stampeding, they show animals running free. And I had the split second thought, who's going to gather up all these animals? And then the relief that happened when I realized that this happened at a rodeo. That's who's going to wrangle the animals.
I did also during that scene think this is an overreaction.
Really?
They're in Oklahoma. Don't you think they do tornado drills all the time? The idea that these guys are crawling around and not moving and not doing the right stuff. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's nuts. There's a part of me that thinks, oh, they probably should know what to do or the right things to do. But at the same time, I mean, these guys are tornado chasers, so they know better than anyone else what to do.
Yeah.
But you'd think that Oklahomans would know not to get into your car if that was such a terrible thing to do. You'd think that would be right. Like, what do you do in a fire? You stop, drop, and roll. I think if I see someone on fire and they're not stopping or dropping or rolling, I'm like, someone deserves to be on fire right now.
Listener, what do you think? Do you think that person deserves to be on fire? Do you love Tyler Owens? Do you have an idea for our t-shirt? Let us know. Send us an email, nerdy430@gmail.com. We will read it on the show. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. We are going to be back here again on Tuesday with Deadpool and Wolverine. We are thrilled to see it this weekend.
Yes.
We hope you are too. We'll see you there. Until then, stay nerdy, everybody. Bye.
If you feel it, chase it. Bye.
If you feel it, chase it.